Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review with a figure so large I cannot for the life of me fit this in frame. But here, if you don't know, if you haven't been following me on Instagram, I posted this probably a couple of weeks ago. I've been super busy with work. I keep going down to Southern California and it's just been taking time away from being able to do reviews. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got so many figures to review and I'm going to try to knock these out as quickly as I possibly can. So tonight, whenever this goes live, we've got the ThreeZero DLX Hulkbuster figure, and then we'll get into some other ones. But here, the Marvel Studios, the Infinity Saga ThreeZero DLX collectible figure from Avengers Age of Ultron. We have the Iron Man Mark 44 Hulkbuster. This figure is amazing. It is in stock right now, also at Big Bad Toy Store, so shout out to them for sending this out so I can review for you guys. We've got a window box in here so you can see the figure. It's absolutely massive. Now, we've gotten a 1/12 scale Hulkbuster figure before. Marvel Legends gave us a Build-A-Figure. This figure over here, the ThreeZero stuff, tends to actually be more of a 7-inch scale and not quite the 6-inch scale, so it's a little bit larger, but I'm very excited to check this out for you guys. You can see the artwork looking pretty awesome on there. If you're a fan of the channel, you've been subscribed, you've been here, I've reviewed a few of the ThreeZero DLX Iron Man figures already. I've reviewed the Black Panther, the Iron Spider figure, War Machine, Iron Patriot. Some really awesome figures, and I absolutely love this line. They are just basically like mini Hot Toys, so absolutely incredible. So here we got the reissue of the Hulkbuster. It was released a couple of years ago, but it has since been reissued. So if you'd like to get your hands on it, it is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. Link in the video description below. But looking at the box, we're gonna turn it, and I don't know how much we're gonna be able to see it. You just kind of get the Hulkbuster, you know, wording, lettering, and stuff on there. Here's a look, another look at the figure there. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's go ahead and open this up. Let's get the figure out of the box. I got a bunch of batteries here with me, and so we will get the batteries all in there and we'll get it all lit up, so we'll be able to take a look at the ThreeZero DLX Hulkbuster. Okay, so here is the Hulkbuster figure out of the package. I knew this was going to be good from the beginning. I knew it was. But my goodness, you have to have this figure in hand to truly appreciate everything that's going on with it. Because this is like crazy. In terms of like action figures, this is just wild, right? You have like Hot Toys, which are like top of the line, extremely detailed, done really, really well. Yeah, articulation, you can't pose them around and leave them in poses and things like that, sure. But the tailoring on the soft goods suits of Hot Toys, the sculpting of the details in like armor for Iron Man, or like the head sculpts and the likenesses to the actors are bar none top of the line, right? They're so good. InArt probably does better, but they don't do Marvel. Anyway, really good stuff, you know, in 1/6 scale. 1/12 scale, we don't always get the super high quality detail stuff because it's just harder to do in a smaller scale. Enter ThreeZero with their DLX line. My very first ThreeZero DLX Iron Man figure was the Mark 46 from Civil War. Beautiful figure. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that compared to this Hulkbuster. That's like a 7-inch figure. I don't know exactly how tall the Hulkbuster is off the top of my head. We're looking at probably around 12 inches, I would say. 11.5, 12 inches. 11.7 to be exact. Just look at that. This is more of a 1/10 scale, even though it is considered a 1/12 scale. But just look at how amazing this is. So you have this in a display or anything, it's just going to look so good. You know, a lot of us, we have like Marvel Legends figures on display. Marvel Legends gave us a Hulkbuster. It was a Build-A-Figure. 6-inch scale Marvel Legends. That is it there. And I have it way in front of that Hulkbuster to be able to fit it all in frame. Let's see if I move this over, push that Hulkbuster back. Look at the difference in that. That's insane. Marvel Legends, obviously, it's a budget line, collecting line. You can't get all the details. Paintwork is going to be shoddy, but you'll get some decent sculpt. Usually, not always. On the MCU stuff, we tend to get better stuff. But look at that versus that. Now, yes, Hulkbuster, that was a build-a-figure. You had to purchase an entire wave to be able to build it, or later on they released it in 2-pack with Hulk. I want to say it was like 60, 70 bucks. I don't know what it was. I don't remember. Now, the Hulkbuster 3-0 figure is pricier. It's $279.99, which my understanding is a significantly lower price compared to like the Comet Cave figure they had released. And then SH Figure Arts, I want to say it was like a $400 to $500 figure. I don't know the size of that one. I never had it. I believe that's a beautiful looking figure as well, but an extremely pricey figure. This guy, yes, there's a lot of plastic and stuff, but it's got some die cast in there, especially like inside the body and stuff to make it stable. There's some die cast. It's also got light up features. So it has a light up back, a light up chest, and light up eyes. The knees don't light up. So that, I think, unfortunately, right, 3-0, if they're going to do the electronics and you have to need batteries and stuff, why not have done the knees if you have that large like arc reactor in there? Unfortunately, those don't light up. But that's a crazy deal for what we get here. Just absolutely insane. Let's go ahead and zoom in so you can take a look at the insane details of this figure. Look at the beautiful color, the beautiful sculpt work, all of that. Let's get in for a closer look so you guys can see it and really appreciate it. Okay. Whoo-wee. Just look at how absolutely gorgeous this is. My goodness. I absolutely love it. This may not be like a traditional review type because it's such a large figure. It's such a kind of a delicate centerpiece. Like I want to be very careful. You're not going to like super articulate this guy. It's got really good articulation points, all the points that we would really want, but you know, it's a high-end collectible. We do want to be very careful with it. But there's some really cool stuff that you can do with this figure, and I'll get into that a little bit later on. Because little do you guys know, you guys may not know this, but, you know, let's kind of open this up a little bit. Let's a little bit of a teaser. You see a little Iron Man faceplate in there because I have an Iron Man figure in there. This is crazy. I do not have the Mark 43 that goes into this guy. Unfortunately, the reissue just hasn't hit yet. I have it on pre-order with Big Bad Toy Store. I'm going to be very excited for when that comes in. I do not have that figure yet. That figure also comes with like a stand piece that you can install in here to make it look like he's flying out of it, which is crazy. But what I do have is I have the Iron Man Mark 42. He's in there right now, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the video, but just crazy that you can do that. Absolutely insane. What I want to do before we look at the rest of the figure, I want to go ahead and get the light up features out of the way. So I'm going to have to turn off all these lights so we can try and see the light up feature and how bright they are. Well, it's going to be hard because I have the lights off a little too much. Let me see if I try a little bit of light. Yeah, it's going to be hard to tell, but you got the arc reactor here in the center, and then you got the eyes that aren't as bright, but they do light up, and then the back lights up in a couple of different spots, so it's all kinds of runs off of kind of probably a singular light, maybe 1 or 2 LEDs in there, but you can see the light shine through on the side, and then here in the center, and everything like that. So if we turn on some lights, you could see where those light up features are, so you got those spots all on his back. And then again, you have the arc reactor, and then you have the eyes. The arc reactor is very easy, just like all the other Iron Mans. You're able to just press it to turn it off and on. On the back, it's a little bit different. You got this cover piece here. You just take that off, and you got you install the batteries there. And there's just this button here, so you can see there. Turn on, turn off. The head is a little bit trickier. The head is kind of a tough one. Like I had to kind of take the head off, which is not an easy thing to do. And then there's this little lever in there, and you just kind of move the lever, and it'll be able to kind of... Oh, there we go. I was able to turn it off. But that's how you do it. So it's a little bit tricky, but it's there. I don't leave the lights on because obviously you don't want to drain through the battery and then use up the batteries and stuff like that. It's just still cool that they have it. But let's go ahead and get all these lights back on, and let's look at the rest of the figure in detail. All right, so back to the figure. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back and the full lit up details so you can really see how everything is. I mean, just look at the detail and everything, like here in the shoulder pads. And it's kind of like dual shoulder pads. So you have these two pieces there that kind of work together, as you could see there. And this is, you know, how it'll allow you to be able to move that arm and kind of get this arm into certain positions and things like that. So you can see, you know, you can move these things around as needed to really get you the articulation that you really want to kind of pose this guy out or do whatever you kind of need to do there. So really cool stuff going on. Just the sculpted details are just absolutely insane. I mean, look at the inside of that arm in there. Nice silver color in there, but good sculpted details and everything like that. The red is just an amazing color. The gold is solid and everything like that. Really, really good. But let's go ahead and move down to the next section of the figure. Okay, we're going to kind of take it step by step in the figure, but just again, look at the nice details kind of in the sculpt work and everything like that. Just absolutely incredible. There, looking at the arm, look at that inner elbow in there. You got like hydraulics. It looks like there's some kind of wiring cable system in there. All of that. So that is just really, really good. There, looking at the back, again, just nice sculpted details and everything like that. Looks like some of these pieces kind of move a little bit, and I think that's going to allow for some of the articulation. Like you have these hip pieces here in the front, and these kind of locked in place now, but they can move. Unclip that one. These pieces can move, so you're going to be able to like kick the leg forward a little bit and things like that. So just crazy details that they got going on into these different pieces, and then you can kind of secure them back and it looks whole again, which is again pretty incredible that they have, you know, those details there. Looking at the hands, as you can see there, which brings me to the next point. Not a lot of accessories comes with this Hulkbuster. The other Iron Man figures typically have a couple of blast effects, and then they have you know, extra sets of hands also. Kind of the same thing here with Hulkbuster, except he just has hands. We don't get any blast effects or anything like that. But we get pretty well sculpted hands. The thing about these hands that's interesting, if you look, it's not quite the same red as the rest of the body. I don't know how well that's coming in camera. In hand, you could tell there's a noticeable difference. And that's because these hands are a little bit rubbery. So they're definitely made of a soft plastic, which I don't mind at all. You still get really good sculpt work in there. I mean, look at that. Look at that sculpting in there. Nice silver color along with the red. But again, it's a little rubbery. Like you can move, you know, bend in these fingers a little bit. It's not articulated. You do want to be careful. But that's kind of interesting that it's there. And maybe it's just the fingers, because it looks like the fingers might be a separate piece. I'm not sure, but that's how these hands are designed. So you kind of get this open hand here, and then you get a set of these hands that are kind of closed. They're more like relaxed hands, I guess. So wide open hands, and then more of the relaxed hands. So you get, you know, obviously left and right relaxed hands, and you get the opened left and right hands. On the figure itself already are the fists. So you got fists as well there. So now let's go ahead and move down to the legs. As you can see there with the legs, pretty incredible. Again, we have these arc reactor style here on the knees. Look how much larger they are. I wish those would have lit up. That would have been absolutely amazing. I don't know why. Maybe just a cost thing or whatever. But man, if they could have done it and maybe, you know, make it a $300 figure instead of a $280 figure or something, that just would have been amazing. I think that would have been really cool, because look how large it is. So if you had those lit up, would have been really, really cool to see. Sculpted detailing on this figure is just, again, absolutely incredible. Looking at it kind of here on the back, you can see like the hydraulics and stuff on the back of the knees. Just really, really good. And then the feet are pretty crazy. I gotta lift up this thing. Crazy things going on there in the sculpt work and the details and everything like that. You can kind of see like the hydraulics and stuff. What would be like an arc reactor? What if they had what if these lit up on the feet? That would be incredible too. That would be truly amazing, but you know, probably unnecessary, but would have been really freaking cool. But these feet, as you can see, very wide and kind of extend back. It allows for good stability of the figure, which is nice. And then in order to like move that foot at the ankle, as you can see there, you kind of have this piece that kind of comes up and can kind of float around and move around as needed. So, you know, pieces don't break. So you can do that. It can kind of cover up that space. So really nice touch there. So that is the Hulkbuster. Now let's go ahead and go over his articulation, because oh boy. Kind of the same thing. We're going to have to take this figure in steps in order to show the articulation. The head can kind of swivel around. Can't really look up. You can lift up on it a little bit, but that's kind of the point where you would end up opening this up. But I'm going to show you guys that after the articulation. So looking down, looking up isn't a whole lot, but he can look to the side and whatnot there. It is on a little dumbbell, a little ball joint in there, so you can pivot around a little bit. The shoulder, you want to use the shoulder pad and kind of get that shoulder pad out so you can then extend the arm outwards like so. So you can get the arm out there. You can do a full rotation in there. And then it's got kind of that butterfly system, so you can extend that arm out a little bit there. So you can only go so far, as you can see there. It won't go back, but you can come forward like so, which is really cool. Let's see, you get a swivel at that shoulder, so that upper bicep, you get that swivel in there. You get this double jointed elbow, gives you that much bend there at the elbow, so that is quite nice, as you can see there. Wrists are on a ball joint, so you can kind of move them around. Not a whole lot of hinge motion in there, but you kind of get the swivel and a little bit of kind of the pivot in there. And again, the different hands that we get, kind of the relaxed hands and then the wide open hands, as you can see there. So that is the articulation on the arms. The shoulders, you can again move the shoulder pad so you can kind of close out that gap so it's not as noticeable. The torso, let's see, you can tilt the torso to the side a bit there. Not a whole lot. You could tilt the other way as well. There's no swivel. There is a little bit of a swivel, so you could turn Hulkbuster a little bit in there, as you can see there, and then crunching forward, that's pretty good. You can crunch forward that much, and you can see how it extends in the back there. So that is really cool. Doesn't really go back, basically stands straight on up. Let's go ahead and adjust the camera, and we'll take a look at the lower part of the body and see how well that moves. Okay, before we get to the legs, I want to talk about these pieces on the arms. They come off pretty easily. They just kind of clip on there. There's a couple of different moving parts in here, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't really know why or recall what was going on here with... So this extends out, but why does it extend out? I'm curious. So it opens up, and then that extends out. Why this piece moves, I'm not really certain of. So that's a bit odd, but you do have what I don't remember if these were like guns right here, or how that worked, but you get these different movable pieces in here, and I just can't remember for the life of me exactly what the purpose any of this served. But it's there, and it can move around, and it has these interlocking pieces there, and then you could just clip it right back onto the arm there. But if you guys remember what the use of these guys were, let me know down in the comments below, because I just truly don't remember. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the legs. We're going to open up this piece here, so we're not going to be at risk of, breaking anything in here. Let's see. Always make sure to read the instructions, by the way, which I'm kind of trying to do, but it's in Chinese. So it's kind of difficult, but the instructions does show you everything in terms of like the leg movement and what you could do. It looks like you could swivel around if you move that hip piece, so you can kind of adjust. You could bend the knee and get the leg out and things like that. So let's go ahead and just kind of go through it. So you get an upper thigh swivel in there, as you can see there. The leg, let's see. Oh, okay, so you can pull that leg out a little bit, as you can see there, and it allows you to get the leg out to the side that much. That's pretty crazy. Let's see, kicking forward, as you can see, you could kick high up, which is pretty crazy for the Hulkbuster if you think about it, and the leg does go back, as you can see there. So yeah, that is pretty good. I don't know why this piece kind of floats around. I don't know if that's just the design of it, or if that served a purpose. Like if we do, I guess the drop, I guess because it moves with the knee, as you can see there. But we get a double jointed knee, so it gives us that much bend there at the knee. So that is pretty crazy there. So really good movement in there. And as you can see, you get all these pieces that move around to accommodate that. So Pretty crazy, because even this piece back here moves with it to fit that all in. So that is pretty crazy. The feet, you can hinge down only a little bit, and you can hinge up a little bit. Looks like you do got some pivot in there. I was thinking that the toes articulated. Yeah, so okay, the toe articulates as well. As you can see, that is an articulated toe, and that right there is going back. So you can move that toe up a little bit and kind of get it back into position. So crazy movement in the legs and everything like that. And again, it has that swivel and stuff in there. So you could just really pose this out pretty crazy. Yeah, which is just insane. Okay, so just kind of, again, posing out the Hulkbuster. It's crazy. Like, you can't get him into super crazy things or anything like that. Sure, of course. It's this massive, high-end collectible figure. You do want to be careful with it. It is somewhat fragile. But look, he could do some cool things. Like, I have one leg all the way out here, another leg all the way out here. Ankles are turned a little bit. You can't get the full pivot, but yeah, you can do some really cool stuff with this, and I'm pretty impressed by it. But the coolest, best part of this is the fact that you can get an Iron Man inside of there. So let's go ahead and check that out now. Alright, the moment you guys have all been waiting for. Now there's several different movable parts to actually make this happen, which is crazy. See these gold spots? These actually do like clip into place. You got to unlock them. So you actually just open up each one there, and then you can kind of open this up. This shoulder piece, it kind of lifts up a little bit so you can kind of get it. Let's see. Well, I'm having trouble getting it up right now. Not something you should always say. Okay, so you can see how high up that shoulder piece will go. Let's see. Well, let's go ahead and let's do this first. This chest piece, as you can see, opens up there. So let me see if I can get this piece now. So let's get these shoulder pads out of the way. Okay, so that's what helps to be able to get these open and out of the way there. You have those pieces that open up there. Then you have these pieces there that help lock in that canopy piece. So those float around, as you can see there. And then you can open it up and boom, you could reveal Iron Man in there. Now, in the movie, it was the Mark 43 suit that was in there. The Mark 43 suit is essentially the same exact thing as the Mark 42, which was in Iron Man 3 with inverted colors. So the Mark 42 in Iron Man 3 was all gold with some red. It was the one that pieced apart and everything like that. In Avengers Age of Ultron, it was essentially the same suit, but red with some gold. That figure is getting reissued. However, it is still not arrived to Big Bad Toy Store yet. When it does, I will have it. I will review it. I will put it in the Hulkbuster figure. But as of now, here we have the 42 in place of the 43. And just look how cool that is. I could, power on that arc reactor, turn that arc reactor on there too. That is just crazy that you can do that. Like, it's insane. Now, here's the tricky part. This is not the entire figure, which would be insane if it was. But it's not. It is only a piece of the Mark 42 in this case, but the Mark 43, only a piece would be able to go inside of it. So you have to take the figure apart, which it does. They're designed to do this. So you pull the lower half of the body off, and then you pull the arms out, and you've got your Iron Man in there, and he just rests inside as if he were controlling it. Now, in the movie, this is what we saw. This is how it was. But the other cool thing is we saw Iron Man descend into the Hulkbuster armor, and what this figure could do is you could put a stand in there and then attach it to your Iron Man figure as if he's like floating down into the suit, which is pretty damn incredible. Now, I don't have a full picture of that, but what I do have is the instruction sheet. As you can see here, you got this stand piece, which would then install inside of the suit and attach it to the back of the figure to make it look like he's either flying out of the suit or flying into the suit. Now, I'm sure that stand piece comes with the Mark 43 figure specifically, but again, I do not have that, so I can't show you guys that feature, and I can't wait to be able to get it so I can show you guys. But I had to show you guys something in here, and I'm glad I at least have the Mark 42 so you could see how it looks inside of here. And man, that is just really cool and something super special. And I just can't believe that we have this like in action figure form, something like this. I'm impressed. You guys let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below. Okay, and to show you guys side-by-side comparison with the, you know, kind of the matching suit, inverse colors, here we have the Mark 42 and the Hulkbuster. Absolutely incredible figure. Absolutely love it. I love this line. If you go back and watch my previous reviews, I'm like, oh, you know, unfortunately ThreeZero isn't going to make any more. They're kind of stopping the MCU Marvel Infinity Saga figures. You know, they're done, right? Because I talked to the ThreeZero guy, Ray, at San Diego Comic-Con, and he said they weren't going to do anymore. They just had, you know, what was ever still on pre-order, like the Mark IV, the Mark VI, the Mark 85, the Mark 7, and that was going to be it. They weren't going to do any more. He told me, you know, we're not going to do any more. Unfortunately, the Marvel license is just, it comes at too high of a cost. So I'm like, oh, shoot, that sucks. You know, I just started getting into the line, loving the figures. I would love to see more and more and more. And then he dropped that on me. And then not too long ago, they're like, ha, just kidding. Here is the Midas figure. I forget which Mark it is. Mark something, but it's the all gold one. And it's a repaint of, I want to say the Mark 7. Even Marvel Legends did this. They released the Midas figure because it's just a repaint of the Mark 7. It's just all gold. Because it doesn't cost as much. You don't have to create new sculpting or anything like that. You use existing tooling and all of that. So obviously cheaper to produce. So they went ahead and they dropped that surprise. We're going to do this figure, pre-order it now. I love that we're getting more, and I would love to get every Iron Man figure. It's not realistic, but I would love to get every Iron Man figure. So hopefully it'll continue, even if it's repaints wherever they can, wherever it makes sense. I'm all for it because I love these figures. I think they're absolutely incredible. What I would love for them to do, if they were to do one brand new figure, right? Because we think, you know, it's got to be metal suit stuff, right? Like, you know, the Iron Spider suit. We had the Black Panther suit. The Black Panther figure. If they're going to do, you know, a metal figure, give us an Ultron from Age of Ultron. They would do amazing stuff with a die-cast and plastic figure. ThreeZero would knock it out of the park if they did an Ultron Prime figure. We never got an Ultron Prime in Marvel Legends. Give us one in the ThreeZero Deluxe line. I mean, he's going to be big. He'd probably be, you know, almost up to the shoulder of Hulkbuster because he's got to be bigger than Iron Man. But how incredible would that be? ThreeZero, if you happen to watch this video, which I know they are not, but I would love it if they did, I would love to see an Ultron figure. Ultron Prime, the very last Ultron build that he had at the end of the movie. The full vibranium Ultron body. If they did that in the ThreeZero DLX line, would be absolutely incredible. Fingers crossed. I hope they do it. I don't know that they would. It sounds like they wouldn't. If they're going to quote unquote stop the line or not create new tooling or whatever. But if they were to do one, I think that's what I would like. You guys let me know which figure you would like them to do, whether it's an Iron Man suit, one of the War Machine suits, anything like that. You guys let me know down in the comments below. A Mark 45 would be really cool too. It was the suit that he wore at the end of Age of Ultron. Beautiful suit. We never got a figure for that anywhere. I think Hot Toys released one, but that was it. So I'd love an Ultron or the Mark 45. But you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this ThreeZero DLX Iron Man Mark 44 Hulkbuster. Beautiful figure at a pretty good price. Yes, it's pricey, but it's a high-end collectible figure. And when you compare this to some of the other figures kind of in that scale and the size and everything like that, I think it's an awesome value. In stock right now at BigBadToyStore.com. Make sure to check them out. Link in the video description below. Head to Big Bad Toy Store for this figure. For any of the ThreeZero DLX figures, go back and watch my previous DLX figure review for Marvel. I forget which one it was. It may have been Black Panther or Iron Spider. So make sure to check that out. and let me know what you guys think of this Hulkbuster figure. I think it's incredible, but I really do want to know what you guys think, what your thoughts are. So let me know down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.